Indie sci-fi RPGs dissect existence, rebuild worlds from decay, and make you question what it means to be human. These are no flashy cutscenes or corporate polish. They're about the strange, the emotional, and the wildly ambitious. From dying planets to synthetic gods, they explore futures where philosophy and chaos coexist. So if you think only AAA games can blow your mind, think again. These 15 indie sci-fi RPGs redefine imagination itself.
Base mining operation abandoned after a minor mutiny. The rebels succeeded, but cut off from Earth. They found themselves effectively in a prison with no chance to return. And now, 20 years later...
Space Wreck. How about a game that feels small at first, but keeps revealing layers like a mechanical onion from space? That's exactly what Space Wreck does. You start 20 years after a brutal conflict over asteroid mining rights, stuck on a derelict ship drifting through the cold void. Every system, corridor, and terminal hides the aftermath of human greed and decay. The setting looks claustrophobic, but it's alive with possibility. Engineers scavenging for survival, pirates rewriting codes to steal oxygen, and AI fragments whispering about a past no one remembers. What makes it special is how brutally honest it is. Your character isn't a blank slate. Your flaws matter. Low charm? People won't even talk to you. Weak speech? You literally can't start conversations. Too strong, you can't fit into vents. Every decision and stat sculpts the narrative around your imperfections. Gameplay here is pure, old-school role-playing. Turn-based, grid-bound, and unapologetically reactive. Combat is completely optional. Every quest has up to 8 possible solutions, and everyone can die. No essential NPCs. You can talk, sneak, hack, or just mess everything up and live with it. Space Wreck proves that depth doesn't come from scale, it comes from consequence. Griftlands. You ever walk into a game world that feels like it's falling apart, but somehow still running on charm, grit, and bad deals? Welcome to Griftlands, where every handshake could be a setup, and every favor might just bury you deeper. The planet of Havaria is a rotting hub of mercenaries, cults, smugglers, and broken politics, all ruled by whoever can talk, bribe, or stab their way to the top. You play through 3 distinct stories: Sal, the revenge-hungry bounty hunter; Rook, a grizzled spy running double games; and Smith, a drunken heir somehow stumbling toward heroism. They all paint a different slice of this cynical world, stitched together by power plays and debts that never quite get paid off. What makes Griftlands sing is its hybrid gameplay, deck building fused with dialogue and decision-making. Every encounter can unfold as a fight or a negotiation, and both use different decks you craft and refine. One card can turn a brawl into a truce, or end a friendship forever. With hundreds of cards, faction politics, recruitable allies, and a galaxy of consequences, it's a roguelite that turns every conversation into combat and every battle into a gamble for your soul.
Consciousness, destiny, call it what you will. But why would that essence be any worse off if you made your body better? Just a small injection. There.
Decks. Our next game feels like it crawled straight out of a 90s cyberpunk fever dream. Decks is exactly that. A 2D rebellion set in Harbour Prime. A city choking on smog, corruption, and corporate gods. You play as a young woman on the run from a faceless organization that wants her dead before she discovers what's buried inside her own code. The deeper you dig, the stranger it gets, AI conspiracies, rogue hackers, and black market augmentations all tangle together in a story that feels equal parts Blade Runner and Neuromancer. Every alley hides an ideology, every contact has an agenda, and every line of dialogue can shift your path toward rebellion or surrender. Dex nails the freedom most cyberpunk worlds only promise. You can shoot your way through problems, ghost through vents as a stealth hacker, or smooth talk crime lords into submission. The game's real twist is its cyberspace hacking mode, a surreal digital realm where you physically fight off viruses and crack through security grids to control the real world. With its branching dialogues, augmentations, and real-time combat, Dex proves that even in 2D, a cyberpunk world can feel limitless. Underrail. Imagine humanity retreating beneath the Earth's crust, trading sunlight for flickering neon and oxygen for dust. That's the world you wake up to in Underrail, a crumbling network of subterranean station states where civilization survives out of habit, not hope. Centuries after the surface became uninhabitable, people live in tunnels ruled by factions that distrust, exploit, and occasionally obliterate each other. You start as a lowly inhabitant of one of these fragile strongholds, but peace doesn't last long. Between political manipulation, resource scarcity, and mutated horrors creeping up from the dark, every decision pulls you deeper into the labyrinth's moral decay. It's claustrophobic, desperate, and strangely beautiful in its hopelessness. On the gameplay side, Underrail plays like a love letter to classic isometric RPGs. The turn-based combat system demands precision and planning, letting you specialize in stealth, psychokinesis, heavy weapons, or pure diplomacy. Exploration is brutally rewarding. Loot, lore, and danger hide behind every sealed door. Choices matter here. Allies can become enemies, and one wrong move can collapse an entire faction's future. Underrail weaponizes it to remind you how fragile civilization becomes when the light finally goes out. Colony Ship A post-Earth role-playing game. Can you imagine being born inside a steel coffin, hurtling through space, where the stars outside are just myths and the mission has replaced religion? That's your reality in Colony Ship A Post-Earth. Role-playing game. Humanity fled a dying Earth centuries ago, sending a massive generation ship toward Proxima Centauri. But by the time you arrive, no one will be alive to see it. Generations later, the ship's purpose has become propaganda. Its corridors have turned into city-states, its hydroponic jungles into feral ecosystems, and its people into zealots clinging to ideology. The Protectors preach obedience to the Founders, the Brotherhood fights for revolution, and the Church of the Elect claims the voyage is divine punishment. You're just another lost soul, caught between decaying metal and crumbling faith, trying to find meaning where none exists. Gameplay here is as cold and ruthless as the ship itself. Every encounter can unfold through tactics, persuasion, or stealth, and combat is punishingly strategic. Cover angles, line of sight, accuracy, and evasion all matter. Party members have their own loyalties, factions track your every deed, and one reckless choice can rewrite alliances or doom your mission entirely. Colony Ship traps you in a centuries-long experiment on what humanity becomes when the destination no longer matters. Cosmic Star Heroine. Ever miss the era when sci-fi RPGs were colourful, dramatic, and unashamedly cool? Cosmic Star Heroine is that golden age reborn, wrapped in a neon spy thriller. You play as Alyssa LaSalle, an elite agent for the Agency of Peace and Intelligence on planet Arenu, until a classified mission unravels into a galactic nightmare. What begins as a clean-cut investigation turns into a full-blown conspiracy involving alien superpowers, outlawed technology, and an interplanetary threat powerful enough to rewrite civilizations. Alyssa goes rogue, hunted by the very government she once served, racing across 3 wildly different planets, packed with ruined cities, rogue AIs, and ghosts of ancient empires, to uncover who's really pulling the strings. The allies you recruit add layers to the mystery, from hackers and psionics, to battle droids and outcasts, tied to forgotten wars. Gameplay brings classic 16-bit RPG charm fused with slick, modern design. Combat unfolds seamlessly in the world, no separate screens, and relies on strategic turn-based flow, where combos and buffs matter more than grinding. You can recruit agents, upgrade your ship as a mobile base, and orchestrate missions like a galactic shadow operative. Cosmic Star Heroine plays like a love letter to the golden age of sci-fi role-playing, with all the style and none of the filler.
Started when magic came back. The Awakening, some call it. You're rubbing elbows with orcs, elves, even trolls these days. Meanwhile, megacorps bleed the world.
Shadowrun Returns. Our next game is a full-blown world where elves, orcs and dragons walk the same rain-soaked streets as hackers, mercs and megacorps. Shadowrun Returns throws you straight into that chaos. Seattle, 2054. Magic has clawed its way back into reality, merging myth with machine. And you're a Shadowrunner, a disposable mercenary, hired to do the jobs too dirty for anyone else. A mysterious killer stalks the Undercity, and every lead drags you deeper into a world of back-alley rituals, corporate espionage, and digital ghosts haunting the Matrix. It's grimy, mystical, and brilliant. A noir detective story fused with cyberpunk and fantasy, where your survival depends on how fast you adapt. Gameplay-wise, it's a razor-edged tactical RPG. Combat is turn-based and brutally strategic. You'll assemble a team of runners from street samurai to riggers who control drones and deckers who jack into cyberspace mid-battle. The skill system is classless, meaning you can craft a shamanic hacker or a cyber-augmented mage if that's your style. Every conversation, mission, and moral choice feeds into a world that remembers. Shadowrun Returns is proof that magic and megabytes can coexist, and it's just as dangerous as you'd imagine. Encased, a sci-fi, post-apocalyptic RPG. Let us tell you about a future where humanity's biggest discovery becomes its tomb. Encased, a sci-fi, post-apocalyptic RPG drops you into an alternate 1970s where the world's brightest minds unite under the Cronus Corporation to study the Dome, an immense alien structure that rewrites the laws of physics. Once you step inside, there's no going back. The outside world forgets you exist. Inside, everything collapses after the incident. The Dome turns into a sealed wasteland of anomalies, radiation and madness, where scientists, soldiers and scavengers form rival factions fighting for scraps of technology and survival. You start as just another employee, but what you choose to do, ally, betray or rebuild, shapes the future of the Dome itself. Gameplay is pure tactical role-playing, turn-based combat, branching dialogue, and deep skill systems, reminiscent of classic Fallout. You can talk your way through chaos, craft improvised weapons, or use high-tech beam rifles to burn through enemies. Each of the 5 Cronus wings grants unique playstyles from diplomacy and engineering to brute force. Companions have histories as fractured as the dome's walls, and every decision you make carves a different ending. Encased is a slow-burn masterpiece about human ambition eating itself alive.
The city moves real fast, and you got to move with it. You make a million choices a day to survive in Nevalis, and some of those choices are gonna hurt folks.
Life is going to be hard here in Nevalis.
Cloudpunk. Ever had one of those nights where the rain won't stop, the city won't sleep, and you realize you're part of something way bigger than your paycheck? That's Cloudpunk in a nutshell. You're Rania, a new delivery driver in Nevalis, a vertical city that stretches from rusted slums buried in fog to glass towers scraping the edge of the sky. Your only job, deliver the package, no questions asked. But the deeper you go, the more those questions start to matter. Each delivery reveals fragments of a neon-lit dystopia, ruled by megacorps, rogue AIs, and people clinging to the idea of identity in a city where humanity feels optional. From desperate android poets to malfunctioning drones with souls, every encounter paints another brushstroke of a metropolis slowly forgetting itself. Gameplay is simple but immersive. You pilot your hovercar through crowded skyways, hop out to explore rain-soaked alleys, and make moral choices that ripple across the city. There's no combat, just stories. And that's what makes it powerful. Every route is a thread in the web of Nevalis, and every decision turns routine deliveries into quiet revolutions. Cloudpunk is about seeing who's still human when everything else turns to circuitry and neon. Death trash. What happens when cosmic horror collides with human trash? Death trash answers that with guts, literally. The story drops you on the planet Nexus, a decaying world once meant to be humanity's new Eden, now ruled by flesh gods, malfunctioning machines, and punks too stubborn to die. You play as an outcast, cast into the wasteland carrying a mysterious infection that ties you to something ancient and alive beneath the soil. Civilization's long gone, replaced by a patchwork of cultists, mutants, and wanderers who worship or harvest the grotesque remnants of what came before. The conversations feel raw and uncomfortable, every encounter dripping with that perfect mix of disgust and awe. You'll meet the Fleshkraken, chat with talking machines, and drink in bars that literally smell like death. This isn't post-apocalypse, it's post-humanity. You can shoot, stab, sneak, or puke your way through the wasteland. Every choice, every kill or conversation reshapes how the world reacts. Still in early access, the co-op mode of this game even lets another player join your descent into madness. It's grim, filthy, and disturbingly personal. Star Renegades. Now this game feels like fighting fate itself, one timeline at a time. Star Renegades is that endless rebellion in pixel form. The story kicks off when a service droid named J5T1N crash lands in your dimension to warn you that the Imperium, an interdimensional empire, has already wiped out countless worlds and is coming for yours next. Every time you fail, J5T1N jumps to another reality, carrying fragments of what you've learned so a new squad of rebels can try again. It's a desperate, looping war fought across dimensions, where each battle is another attempt to break the cycle of extinction. The beauty of it lies in how personal it feels. Your heroes aren't faceless soldiers. They build friendships, rivalries, and even families whose descendants carry on the fight. It's rebellion written in bloodlines and loss. The gameplay is razor-sharp tactical design. Everything runs on a reactive time battle system, where interrupts and counters rule the battlefield. You're not just hitting enemies, you're dismantling their turns. The adversary system keeps things fresh, promoting surviving enemy officers into stronger foes who remember you. Between runs, you unlock upgrades, weapons, and new heroes, turning failure into progress. Star Renegades is defiance made digital. A war across worlds where even death becomes data in humanity's final stand. The Captain. Ever dreamt of being the one person standing between Earth and annihilation, while everything else around you is falling apart in the funniest, saddest ways possible? That's the Captain. You're Thomas Wellmoo, a space fleet scientist stranded on the far side of the galaxy, holding the only weapon that can stop a dark force hurtling toward Earth. The problem? You're light years away, low on time, and every jump home forces you to make impossible choices. Do you detour to save a dying civilization, or shave a few days off your journey? Do you rescue a crewmate, or sacrifice them for the greater good? Every planet you visit throws a moral coin flip, sometimes hilarious, sometimes brutal, and always unforgettable. You'll upgrade your ship, navigate wormholes, manage fuel, and negotiate or shoot your way through encounters. The real challenge is living with the consequences. Your actions ripple across dozens of unique worlds, and no two captains ever share the same story. The Captain is a road trip through conscience, curiosity, and cosmic chaos, wrapped in pixel-perfect retro charm.
Every cycle you take your chances. You roll your dice. You do the work, get paid, survive.
Citizen Sleeper. Ever wondered what it feels like to be property? A consciousness owned, copied, and discarded by a corporation? Citizen Sleeper drops you right into that existential nightmare and lets you claw your way out, one dice roll at a time. You're a digitized mind in a synthetic body, trying to survive aboard Erlin's Eye, a crumbling space station orbiting the fringes of civilization. The cycles, they wake you up to a handful of dice representing your energy, your luck, and your agency. Each roll is a choice: repair a reactor, help a friend, hack a terminal, or simply find food before your body shuts down. The real brilliance of Citizen Sleeper isn't in its cyberpunk aesthetic or tabletop-inspired systems. It's how human it all feels. You'll meet refugees, engineers, smugglers, and dreamers, each with their own story, each holding up a mirror to survival under capitalism's cold shadow. You can't save everyone. Sometimes you barely save yourself. But that's the beauty of it. Every decision has weight. Every failure feels earned. And every victory feels fragile. Citizen Sleeper isn't about winning. It's about enduring, rebuilding, and redefining what freedom means in a universe that's already sold yours. Star Traders Frontiers. You know those games that feel like they were made by people who grew up staring at the stars a little too long? This is one of them. The galaxy you're thrown into isn't some clean utopia. It's a fractured cluster of human ambition, alien menace, and corporate backstabbing, all barely stitched together by a thing called the hyperwarp. 3 centuries after a great exodus, civilizations have reconnected, trade has flourished, and naturally, war has followed. Every faction has a grudge. Every alliance has a price, and every planet has its own scars from centuries of chaos. You're not just a visitor here, you're part of the machine. You could be a smuggler whispering to pirates on the fringe, or a spy manipulating houses for political gain, maybe a bounty hunter chasing ghosts across sectors. Your story folds into the bigger one, the fight for survival in a galaxy that remembers everything. It gives you terrifying control. You design your ship from over 350 upgrades, recruit a crew with their own personalities and moral thresholds, and decide how they evolve based on your leadership. Every trade, battle, betrayal, or exploration reshapes your reputation and destiny. The galaxy lives and dies by your choices.
Now we near the zenith of the Beetle Moon, and a new world struggles to be born.
Caves of Kood. You ever stumble into a game that feels like it was written by a philosopher who got lost inside a radioactive jungle? That's exactly what stepping into Kood feels like. Every inch of this place drips with ancient history. Decaying civilizations buried under layers of rust, vines, and forgotten technology. You'll meet mutants preaching to sentient plants, robots that remember the shape of humanity, and Nazats that hum like dying machines. Nothing here exists just for decoration. Everything has a reason, a lineage, a story buried somewhere in the simulation. And the craziest part, you can literally shape it all. This world doesn't wait for your permission. You can grow extra arms, melt steel walls with acid breath, or psychically dominate a spider and live your new best arachnid life. With over 70 mutations, cybernetic implants, and factions ranging from apes to entropy itself, the game reacts to how you think, not just how you play. Caves of Kood is about surviving the philosophy of a dying world that still refuses to stop dreaming. And these are the 15 indie sci-fi RPGs that prove you don't need billion-dollar budgets to build unforgettable worlds. These games take risks the big studios won't. They twist morality, warp reality, and make every choice feel personal. From decaying starships to neon skylines, from pixel dust to existential dread, they all rewrite what it means to explore the future. If you're ready to leave the comfort of AAA safety nets, these are the worlds waiting for you.